Courtney.
So, my name is Courtney Gook. I've actually been in Windsor here since 1997, so quite some time. I also don't have any children here at Windsor Charter Academy, so I'm looking for a member-at-large position also. I currently am a CSU, I'm working on my PhD at CSU in educational leadership, so you can see exactly why something like this position interests me. At CSU, I have, there are new Colorado State standards rolling out for across the board for public schools, and so I've actually worked on the re-articulation of those standards for our course material at CSU. I teach 2 courses at CSU. I teach a 275 course, which discusses, essentially the title is The Purpose of Schooling, but really what it looks at is it looks at diversity in schooling and various different aspects, from diversity with regard to race and religion to gay, lesbian, transsexual, the full gamut. It runs. We talk about everything. The other course that I teach, I actually oversee middle school student teachers doing their practicum in the middle school setting at Cash-Magooter Middle School in LaPorte. So I have a ton of experience interacting with teachers. I have experience in policy. So I was asked to assess a couple policies for cases going on in Colorado right now, and they just wanted some outside feedback, as well as actually recently proposed a new competitive foods policy. Competitive foods policy is essentially anything outside of school lunch. And if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to further discuss that. I've got some notes here. Let's see if I missed anything else. So a little bit about how I work in groups. I have a very affiliative leadership style, which means that it isn't, when I look at achieving a goal, it isn't just about achieving that goal. I'm very relationship focused also. And so if you alienate those with whom you're working, there's no way that that's going to create a positive working environment. It creates chaos, and everyone, there's just no cohesiveness. And then finally, one of the things that I can really bring to the board, because I'm doing my PhD, and let me back up here. I did my BA in German language and literature at UNC. I did my Master's of Education at CSU, as well as a Master's in German language and literature. I've studied abroad 4 times, so I have extensive experience outside of the country. So getting on to my PhD in education, it is my job to know the newest methodologies, to know how these 21st century skills work in your building, how RTI works, and so core knowledge. And so as a board member, what I can do is I can sort of meld the two together. I know what needs to happen in this school, and I know what needs to happen as a board member. And so with a background in with a deep background in education, I can be that board member who can sort of bring both of those things to the table, meld them into one, and offer positive feedback for those that may not necessarily have a deep background in education. Getting to your question, I have a ton of volunteer experience. I actually don't have any board experience. I think this would be a wonderful experience, and I'd love to serve. I really want to serve on this board. I love what charter schools stand for, and I love what this school stands for. And I feel as though with my experiences, I could really be a positive in this school. So,
thank you.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Rob Umbach, and I am a parent of a really fun kindergartner that is here, and I have another one that will be here in a few more years. That's first and foremost. Second, I'm an associate dean at Ames Community College. We have the campuses all over, especially with the new one in Windsor. But anyways, what I do there is my title is Associate Dean for Learning and Organizational Development. And so what I do there is I oversee faculty and staff development. I oversee our libraries, and I oversee tutoring. And then the college likes to throw at me a lot of other things that are institution-wide initiatives, like our honors program, learning communities, and that sort of thing. I think the reason why I'm here today and why I put my materials in to be a board member are because I've been at every single meeting, every single board meeting that we've had this year.
Yes, he has.
What I have to own is I missed one, and that one was last September. I had a state meeting of deans down in Colorado Springs. So I couldn't be here, but we were there talking about how the state budget was affecting us in education. And so even while I was away, I'm learning about education once again. My job is ties in with a lot of educational policy. One of the things this year that I was involved with here was I am involved with the Accountability Committee. And we have had, I have to own, we've had a hard time getting some involvement from a community member. So Jim or Courtney, who are not parents, if you want to be involved, come on down to our accountability meetings, because we direly need one so that we're in compliance with what the state requires for the accountability team. The good news is, without having that person, we can still be in compliance because we tried our best to try to fill that position. So I don't want you to think that we're in trouble. But as part of that group, I was the person who took all of those parent surveys and all of the staff surveys and had to make them, throw it together, spend, I think I claimed 18 hours of time trying to make sense of what all of the great information that you parents here gave. And so I have a really good handle on what parents are seeing are issues in the school right now. Being at all of the board meetings, I also have a good idea of what is going on in the transition that the board's made from last year to this year, and some of the ways that they're starting to try to address some of the information that we got from the parent survey and the staff survey. One of those things I think is communication. And one of the things that I have to do at work and I've built my career on is going into all kinds of situations and being able to discuss and bring people to a, well, if not consensus, at least a good discussion around the topic so that we're learning from one another and listening. With all that being said, I know that being on the board is a thankless job, and sitting through the 3 and 4 hour meetings on the, I can't even remember, it's in my calendar, the 3rd or 4th Thursday of the month, not always the most fun thing to do. But people that do that, I think, have a great spirit of wanting to do what's best for our students here. And as an example of that, next Tuesday, I'm going to be coming in and helping some of our 8th graders develop some presentation skills with their portfolios. I have a little dry mouth, so I'm struggling a little bit right now. We'll talk about that with the students. And when I come in, if I get a little nervous with the students, they'll be able to see that even when that happens, you can continue on, and you can still make sure you're making eye contact with people, and all the other kinds of skills we look for as we're trying to communicate our portfolios. So anyway, with that, I hope to continue to serve in these capacities, and I will continue to be involved, whether or not I'm on the board, in some of our committees and that stuff. And in other ways for the school moving forward. Thanks.